if you ask a Latino, how much is your work? They will tell you, I don't know how much you want to pay me. At some point on my business, I was asking the same question. I don't know how
Mhm.
much do you think my work is worth, right? And until I met you guys, and there's like a, screw it. This is my ticket.
Welcome to the Studio Takeover podcast. I am your host, Kat Ford Coates. Today, I am joined by none other than Simone Diez out of Seattle, Washington. Simone, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
I'm excited that you're here. You know, we met in Vegas at WPPI, and it was just like in a hallway, and I was connecting you with Saray.
Yeah.
But it was
Oh, you
one of those
remember? That's
moments
pretty
where it was
cool.
like, that's Simone. I get to meet Simone.
That's pretty cool. I told everybody to say, oh, I met Cat Force at the hallway in Vegas. She's pretty cool. That trip was amazing. That was my first time in WPPI. That was 2022. That was,
Oh, that
I
was your
mean,
first one? Ooh.
yeah, my very first one. That was, I didn't know. I mean, everybody was there, and I was like, oh, that's Felix. Oh, that's Sue. Oh, that's Lindsay. And I was like, oh, everybody was like, oh, look at everybody. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's funny how rock star we get about going to photo conferences. I
Yeah.
had a friend of mine, like she's got a photography business,
Hmm.
but like she's, been kind of doing it as a side hustle for a while. And she was like, Kat, I'm so sorry. I know like I really shouldn't be texting you about this, but I just need to understand what's happening. Like I'm doing well, but I know I could be doing so much more. And I keep looking into conferences and education, and your name is everywhere. So I was just like, maybe if I reach out to her. And I was like, and we used to work out at the same gym. And I was like, girl, of course you can call me. Like, I don't care. But she's like, yeah, but like you're so much farther along now. And I was like, dude, whatever. Like, my job is to get money into the hands of photographers. Like, if I can help people do that, let's do it for sure. So, talk to me about how long have you been in business? Have you been shooting? Like, talk to me about like your history.
Yeah. So my journey as a business it started October 2022. That's when I started my business. As a photographer, I will say I have 6 years as a
Okay.
photographer, like full, taking this as a hobby, like more serious. I always have a camera since I have memory. I remember having a camera in my hand, for different reasons, right? I
Uh
got
huh.
to use those Kodak's camera like that. I used to have Minolta cameras. I used to have a Canon, a film camera. When we were kids, my mom had to come to the US and we stayed in Peru. I was 10, my sister was 5. No internet, right? We used to call my mom with those 147 card, that you
Uh
got
huh.
they had to call. I remember my grandma every month she took us to this guy. That was the only house in town with 3 floors, out of concrete. Everybody else has like those, I don't know, like toy house. I don't know how to say it. It's just like a mud house with wooden doors. That was crazy. So that's a really small town. I grew up in a part of the jungle in the country, and that was pretty dope. But my grandma, everybody else that she paid with coins. That guy she paid with bills, right? And I was like,
Okay.
and I was the only guy with a car in the city. And that was the only guy has a store, like a sports store on the first floor, photography studio on the second floor, and his house on the third floor. So I started thinking kind of, this guy must be important. And he has a photographer. So I want to be a photographer too. And I told my grandma, why don't you buy my camera and I take your photos? And she said, kid, slow down. No, I, I am Doña Imelda Vasquez, and only professional people take my picture because at some point in your life, when you grow up, become a man, a family man, and you have your own business, and you are a good photographer, I'll think about it to let you take my photo. And I was 11 or 12 years old when my grandma told me that. And I was done. So then my mom bought me, sent me a camera when I was, like, I don't know, 17, 18. It was funny because I love to travel. And at the airport, I encountered many celebrities that I was like, oh my God, I don't have a photo or a phone, like to take my photo with these guys. I don't know if you know rock and roll, but Charlie Garcia was a very iconic rock and roll from Argentina, waiting on to wave my bags, and I'll go out to smoke a cigarette, and then somebody touched my shoulder and says, "Hey kid, you got a light?" I was like, fucking Charlie Garcia, and I was like, I don't know if I start comparing right now, it would be like Gene Simmons or something like that,
Big deal.
Yeah, that was a big deal. So I was talking to the guy, and I was like, I don't have a camera, so my mom sent me a camera, and I always have my digital camera with my friends, with them camping, but I always like the photos, but I didn't. And right now, as a grown-up man, you check that back, and if you didn't have that camera, I will never remember those memories. There's a lot of stuff I don't remember that happened, but when I saw those pictures, I have all those memories that happened. When I work in a pawn shop here, when they came to the US, my boss told me for a spring cleaning they were doing in 2015 that everybody was buying something, and my turn was to buy a camera. And I was, hell no, I don't want to buy a camera. I got my phone, and I got the little Canon camera that I bought. And she said, oh, come on, everybody's buying something, so you need to buy something, and yours is a camera because you like to take pictures. I get home, and I was thinking on my way home, my wife's going to kill me. So the camera. And I knocked the door, open the door, and my wife is like, what's that? Nothing. It's a camera.
Nothing, honey.
The first question she asked me, how much was that? 20 bucks. 20 bucks. And then she said, you better know how to use a fucking camera or else. I was like, how dare you? I'm planning on using it. Straight to my closet for a year. So I didn't know how to use my camera for a year. And then my wife got pregnant. I don't have a single picture of my wife pregnant with my camera. I got a couple of my phone and stuff like that. We were moving out, and I got the camera, and we were kind of, should I start using it? I'm going to sell it. And my wife says, the hell you want? You're going to learn how to use it. And she bought me, I don't know if you know Jared Polly from Frontal Photo. She bought me those DVDs, and I learned how to use my camera, because in my head was, you click it and done, right? I didn't know anything about lighting.
Yeah, that's almost how it works.
Right? No editing. I didn't know about color grading. I'm a graphic designer, right? In my career, I'm in 1999. So I was like Photoshop 1, Photoshop 2, but just for diagrams and changing color. But I didn't retouch skin. I didn't, like nothing of that stuff. So, and I was very frustrated until I started checking the camera. And I was, this is the shot. So all those old moments. And I don't know if you know that, but I have OCD, ADHD, and Asperger's. So if I like something, I go like the rabbit hole. And I was interested in how, with those knobs, you can create a million possibilities, right? And I started playing around. And I got interested on it. And we were shooting like flowers, doors, chairs, bugs. My wife was my model for I don't know how long. At some point, it's getting annoying. I don't want to be a photographer anymore. So find somebody else. And I start my career like that, knowing nothing about lighting. If I show my first pictures, they're so embarrassing right now that I don't know.
Okay. So in that 5 years, what changed? What made you turn around and be like, no, I'm going to start taking this seriously. I need to figure out how to do this.
To me, receiving money from somebody, I take it very seriously. I don't like to spend my money. I like to invest my money. For 4.5, probably 5 years, I work for free because I said, I don't think my work is ready to be sellable. For me, and with all due respect for anybody, COVID was a blessing in disguise because it allowed me to practice and practice and practice and practice. And I started buying all these classes. And every single time, in every single class, there was this short man, white hair, long beard, bandanas. His name is John Cornicello. And I saw every time that somebody got stuck or forgot something, he jumped and said the answer. And I was like, I want to hire that guy. He knows a lot about lighting. Every time somebody gets stuck, that guy is the guy that
He's the one. Yeah, John's amazing. He's amazing.
So I contacted John once, and he says, well, what you need to know, kid? Is okay, this is what I need to know. He came to my house and start clicking everything aha moments, right? And he says something about practicing with lights. Like, if you can do it with 3 lights, the challenge is to make it happen with 2. But if you are smart, you're going to try to make happen with 1. And you try to make happen with 1, you just start playing with all your modifiers, knowing everything. So I would say for 6 months or even more, I used to play with 1 modifier per week, like the 7-inch, the beauty dish, the sub, and I start playing, high, low, with grid, with diffuser, far, close, like coming from, I start playing with that stuff. And then I started inviting people to come to the studio to let me practice what I was learning in the week. Just keep in mind, I used to work in a pawn shop 6 days a week. I used to leave my house 7:40 at 5 a.m. because I need to be there by 9 a.m. The store closed at 8 p.m. The doors closed 8 p.m. I had to do my paperwork. So I was coming back home at 9:15-ish. Had to have dinner, need to be a dad, need to be a husband, need to be a son because my mom lived with us. After 10:30, 11 p.m., I used to watch my videos on CreativeLive until probably 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So I used to have like a 2-3 hour sleep per day. And then my day off, I used to pack 2 to 3 shoots every week so I can practice whatever I was learning. So I rather say, sorry, I messed up. Let me shoot it again, to be like, give me some money. And I didn't want to charge until I feel my work was ready to charge. And everybody's saying, let me pay you for this. Let me pay you for that. I was like, no, I don't think my color grading is ready. I don't think my editing is ready. I don't think my lighting is ready. And I was put that barrier myself because, again, to me, taking money from somebody was a big responsibility. And when I met Sue and Saray in WPPI, Saray was the one told me. I remember coming with my list, and everybody was smacking my hand saying, that's way too cheap to try to start charging, Yeah, but I don't want to do the process of going up on sales. Like I'm going to start charging $50 and then $200 and then $300. My first pricing list was was $1,500 for 6 pictures, which is my current pricing list. So I didn't change my list in a year, but people start paying me. And the key for me to start charging money was Sarai told me, okay, how much are you charging right now? Nothing. Okay, what's the difference if nobody pays you and somebody start paying you? If you put your list, if somebody's going to hire you, they're going to hire you.
Right.
I was kind of, okay, I don't think nobody's going to pay me to do that, but sure, let's do it. And I started a business.
How's that working out?
I'm more like an artist than an accounting person. I like the process. I like the shooting part. I'm still trying to figure out the business part. I've been really, really happy that I met the right people at the right time. I remember Angie Whitten. You know Angie, right?
Angie,
I love Angie. She's like my big sister, right? She said, I don't know how an artist like you, with the work you have, is not making any money. Like, are you for real, honey? And I was like, I guess. I like the money taken from my workshops. People pay me to come and shoot with me, so I'm good with that. She says, no. We're gonna do this. You're gonna start charging like for real. So I got Sarai my pricing list in March, and I published my pricing list in October. So it took me a long time to process that. And thank you, Angie, because Angie was the one who told me you have to do this. And
and if I know Angie, she was like, you've got to do this. Well, and that's the thing, because here's what happens. I love that you were respectful enough of your craft and the people that you were photographing to not take their money before your work was at a caliber that you felt was a professional standard.
Yeah.
A lot of people, myself included, come into the space and just can't see their way out and just start charging at that $50, $200, whatever rate, because they have to make something for their time, even if they're not producing terrific work. Once you do, and you have that professional standard of pricing that Saray Taylor-Roman helped you create, you start to see the potential of what's there.
Yeah.
Right. And so now if you're averaging $5,000 or $6,000 a month, it's like, how do I get more out of this? Like, if I can make $5,000, surely I can make 10.
Yes.
But you can't quite see a way through. So you start looking for ways to elevate the client experience. But like, you called me and we're like, I don't understand. Everybody's either like putting me off on payment plans or they're not paying me, right? And it's about the education for your customers. And that's where like the course that you purchased from me, that client success bundle, to really elevate their experience by simply educating them about everything.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool because that presentation, so far out of the 5 people I showed that, 5 of them they're booked. So I'm gonna start shooting. Actually, on Saturdays, my first shoot with people is working great. I think more than educate your client, I think the part of educating yourself about business is more important, and having the right person to help you there, it's the best, right? Some people, one time somebody asked me what's the difference between a mentor and a coach, right? It's like you need a coach, you need a mentor. It's like I think you need both, right? The coach, I mean, I can be a coach, right? Somebody next to you every day telling you, let's go to the gym, let's go to the gym.
Let's go, let's do this. Yeah.
You can do it. And you got a mentor that tells you, okay, let's see your monthly review, how many pounds you lose. Okay, this is your dietary plan and stuff like that. So you need to have both hands, right? You need that and a coach can be a friend, can be somebody that actually encourages you to do things. And a mentor can be the person that you look up to and be like, okay, this is what I'm having. How can I be better? And in that case, I'm having the bless that I have you. I got Saray. I have even Angie to mentor me for her stuff. I can tell you, even if my people said my work is good, even Bryce told me, send this to the portrait master. I couldn't believe when she said that. I still don't believe that my work is that good. I think my worst critic is myself, but I'm trying to let go some things and try to learn. First, to be detached with my ego and my own beliefs, to see the bigger picture that, I need a lot of help for grow a business and make it a nice business. In WPP, I was talking to Bryce on the showroom. That was amazing because we talked for about 10 minutes, just she and I. And we were in the middle. And when I told her, I would love to work with you at some point or work for you, whatever sounds the best for you, and help my community, the Latino community. Because I'm a strong believer that community instead competition, right? And she says something that actually hits really hard about the Latino community, and is Latino community, if you ask a Latino, how much is your work? They will always tell you, I don't know, how much you want to pay me? And she was like, she nailed it so hard on that one that actually hit me, because at some point on my business, when I trying to get a business before, Saray, I was asking the same question. I don't know how much do you think my work is worth, right? And until I met you guys, and there's like screw it. This is my ticket. Literally, when Saray was doing her conference, and she said, and I write down my number in a paper because I couldn't say the number. I did that right here in my counter. And I was like, was $2,000. And they got, cool. And it was so much.
Here you go. And you're like,
yeah.
Does that just happen? Right?
Yeah,
somebody just paid me thousands of dollars for my work.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, my wife was here and she was like, I told you. And I was like, we got $2,000 to spend whatever we want. So that was cool, And Sue told me something that I'm going to treasure for it. She says, you're an amazing artist. I love your work. Your lighting is, right? But it's not just about your lighting and your work. It's you need to prove that you can be consistent and you have a consistent business. When you prove me that, then we're going to talk. So since then, I started looking for that consistent on my business. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I talk to you. It's like my business can go like that and try to make it, if not like a curve up, at least flat. It's consistent, but I need to grow. And that's what I need the help from you, from Saray, from Angie, from other people that I talk to. And
is building that consistency, and not just in the work that you're producing, but in the sales. There are a lot of people who can't even give away a photo shoot, like from a value perspective, but you can photograph your partners, your family, your friends, and build consistency visually. You can build that visual cohesion. But until you can build the consistency in revenue generation, it's not cogent to success, right? Because you're working as a technician in your business, but you're also not able to project future revenue. And if you can't project future revenue, then that your marketing needs some work. But it's also about the systems that are in place, the infrastructure of the client journey, and your ability to facilitate that journey in addition to marketing and serving other customers at the same time. And that's really where the rubber hits the road. When you can pull the lever on your marketing that you know works, then that's where the additional inquiries come from, and the more opportunity to pitch, the more opportunity to sell your work, the more opportunity to explore and expand in your craft. And oh, now all of a sudden that $5,000 a month on average is actually like 15 to 18.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow. But then you realize how much work it is to be in that 15,000 a month without proper systems and still trying to tailor every last piece of it instead of automating. And then when you can automate a lot, like there's a lot of it that you can't automate because it requires your heart and like the connection you have to your customer. But the pieces that you can will then suddenly free you up to be able to take on more work and command a higher price point than $2,000.
Yeah. My average sale right now is like 2,700 per sale, and I used to have like 3 clients a month average. My revenue is about $75 to $8,000 a month. That's enough for me to have a decent living. But we're with the new studio, we're aiming to have at least 15 a month, because just my cost of living is about $7,500. We're trying to get to the point, at least this year, 2024. I'm aiming to hit the 10,000 mark at least 3-4 months in a row, so I can be okay. If I can do this before June the 30th, that means July the 1st and up, I can probably hit the market. So
if you're already hitting 7,500, you can do 10 with your eyes closed, and I could get you there by April. That's a short jump. You're not thinking big enough. If you're doing 75, your goal needs to be by the end of June, I want to be at 20.
All right. Hopefully I can do 20. Remember, you know what's funny? My first month in business, we made 17,000. My very first month, like no clue how I did it, but I made $17,000. The next month we made 12,000, and then we made 18. It was kind of how the hell we got that money? We pay off all the credit cards and stuff like that. But
how did you go from 17, 12, 18 to 5 and then to 7.5?
I wasn't consistent enough with my advertising and marketing. It was so overwhelming, the demand, that we had stopped the running the ads, because I was launching the Fabulous Over 40 campaign. That was my first campaign that I was, and we turned off the ads. And then I was talking to the person who run my ads, and she was, okay, I need more money if you want to keep doing this. And I was like, it's working good. In some way, somehow, my leads started going down, and we went from like 12 to 5 to 2 to 0 to 0 to 0 5, and it's kind of okay, something happened here. And now that's what I was kind of okay, something is wrong. And I changed my agency, the marketing agency we're working with, 2 times, actually 3 to 4 times, and now we're going back on track. The way I work right now is I turn on my ads for a week, I finish my call, I book my stuff, and for a week I don't turn on my ads, and then turn it again. So it's 1 week yes, 1 week no, 1 week yes, 1 week no. And we're trying to keep it like 4 to 5 clients a month, so that way we can have, if we can have 2 or 3 clients in the same week, that's best. So that the other month we're planning to do, like, I'm a very organized person. This is my list, so I got my list.
Fantastic.
Like that. And we focus on the other times to do, like, for example, new work, new advertising, update my website, update my Facebook, update my group. I'm very shy and introverted person. People don't believe me when I say I'm very shy. And for me to go to a meeting and be like, hey, I'm Simon Diez, and I'm a photographer, it's the worst. When I'm in my studio, I'm performing being Simon Diez. But when I'm with other people, I'm kind of really shy. If I can be in my corner, just look at everybody, I'm happy. I'm that type of person. But to be the center, the peacock, it's kind of it drains it. I was talking to Saray. She was telling me, if I need to go to a floor, I need to be in my room for 3 hours by myself so I can recharge, then drain that energy, and then I have to run back to my room. And I was like, I'm the same. I didn't know. It's like
it's being an introvert. So an introvert is somebody, and it's funny, I have lots of debates with my sister about this. An introvert simply does not draw their energy from other people. So they are drained by being around other human beings, right? An extrovert is someone who draws their energy from other people. So when you put an extrovert in a room, with like at a conference or a show floor or something like that. An extrovert is actually going to be energized by being around others. And then you have an ambivert, someone who is a little bit of both. And I said that to Sue once. I said, I think I'm an ambivert. Like growing up, I was always an extrovert, but I'm definitely like experiencing more introverted tendencies. And she's like, how about an extrovert with ADHD, Kat? And I was like, oh,
I got ADHD.
you're right.
Yeah.
Because I can go and I can be in a party or a social environment and be energized and have a great time and talk to the wall, right? But the second I leave, it just disappears.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas growing up, or maybe until I was about 30, 35, it was, yes, people, let's go do all the people thing, which is why, I was in bartending for a long time because that was my ability to be social and it was great. But
Yeah.
now, like when I go to conferences and speak and hold classes and masterminds and all the things, like it's great in the moment, but then I have to dip. I have to disappear.
You know what's funny? The coolest experience I ever experienced in my life was in New York. I was in New York Fashion Week. Somebody invited me to take the pictures there, and I was sitting on the runway, and I was waiting for my badge. So it says photographer, and the lady says, "Okay, try to be cool because we're not supposed to be here, but we're gonna be here. So I'll bring you past in a second." Cool. And I was like there, and somebody touched my shoulder. In my head was two things: it's my pass, or they're gonna kick me out of here. None of them. It was a Latina girl, and it says, "Hi." And I was like, "I'm Melissa," and I was like, "Hi, Melissa, how are you? You're Simon Diaz, right?" And goes, "Yeah, I'm Simon Diaz. Just want to let you know that I love your work. I'm a huge fan." She has a picture of my work also as a screensaver of her phone, and she says, "That was 2021, by the way." She says, "I just want to let you know that you're an inspiration and I love your work, and I'm gonna follow your advice. I came from Mexico last week, and I'm rolling on my dice and I'm going all in on my business as a photographer." I didn't know what to say. Why should I tell somebody like that? I will never, ever in my wildest dreams will dream that somebody will tell me that. And that's amazing.
And that was before you were even in business.
Yeah. How can I help you to get there? We still talk on Facebook, time to time. And she was, "No, just want to let you know that your work is amazing and nice to meet you." And I was, "Nice to meet you too. I want to be shooting here if you need me, whatever." Johnny Edward. Every time I talk to Johnny, he says, "Dude, like it or not, we are public figures." I don't like that term, but I'm just a photographer, and everybody can contact me on my chat and ask me for whatever. Just as a public figure, you got this image of people will come to you and ask you for something, and you need to be ready to be able to talk. You need to put a line like, "This is my friendship, this is my personal time, and this is me in business." If you go to a conference, you need to be business mood, ready to answer questions, ready to be happy, ready to take selfies, ready to, if somebody says, "Hey, let's go have a dance," you need to be ready to, you're pretty much a monkey in a circus. And it was, okay, but when it's your personal time, put your phone on airplane mode and set your boundaries. And I'm working on that because it still is kind of confusing sometimes. And the same apply to my business, you know. Now when I talk to you, when I talk to anybody from the portrait masters and the big leagues, you guys says, "Oh, we made 20, 15,000." I love when I heard that because that make my 5 look small, and I want to do the 15. I want to grow, right? Mm-hmm. But when I go to the other communities or other groups, and people say, "Oh my God, I just barely make it to pay my bills this month," I'm kind of I don't like to be here. That makes me feel uncomfortable now, because I don't want to be bragging how much money I made without having to, publicly say, "Well, this is what I'm doing," because I like to get paid for my business too. I like to get for my service and for my knowledge, like everybody else. So that's the part I think I'm still trying to learn, and with people like you, like says, "Hey, we're gonna do this way." It's kind of okay. Thank you for the guidance. I really, really appreciate that guidance. Take my money. I'll buy your stuff. Thank you.
Well, I think you're going to be pretty pleasantly surprised with how 24 shakes out. Now, speaking of 24, though, in addition to your portrait business, you also host workshops for
Yeah.
photographers to teach lighting specifically, don't you?
Yeah. I'm really good at lighting. People hire me, like I travel pretty much all over the country and some of the countries teaching lighting about to people. But this year I'm trying to change the format with my new studio. I'm bringing
Mm-hmm.
other names than mine so people can explore different things than mine, right? I mean, if you want to go to 10, you can do 5 by 2, 7 plus 3, 20 minus 10. It's going to get 10, right? So I'm trying to show people this is different ways to do good work and also
Mm-hmm.
probably learn about business, but not from me, just from other people that already are solidified in the business. So next week I have Nino Batista coming. March we got all the PPS.
Oh, he's wonderful.
Yeah, another is going to come in on March. April I'm going to be in three countries on April. Then I got May. I got Johnny coming on May. I got John Grace coming in June. I got Jason Buff coming in July, and I'm in contact with other people to see if they want to come from August to December. Learning from other people, the techniques or even the way they work, it's amazing. For example, my business partner and makeup artist, his name is Wallace. Sometimes tell me, you are too square shooting. You always shoot from one direction. And then I met Johnny on his studio, and Johnny's a different animal when he's working. He
No,
goes on
Johnny's all over the
the
place.
floor and goes on the stool, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I didn't change my lighting at all, but I changed my way I shoot people,
Mm-hmm.
and I just watching that guy work was a huge inspiration. So you learn from other people, and I was okay. I want to bring that to more people so they can learn more about different stuff.
Very cool. Well, I'll take August or September.
Cool. I would love to have you here. That would be cool.
Oh, we would have so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah.
So tell me now, we know that like you're elevating, you've gone from this year just 5,000 to 7.5 a month on average. We're really looking at pushing you into like that 20 space by this summer. What's next creatively for you?
I recently got sponsored by Nanlite, and I'm exploring a lot of continuous light. And recently, I've been exploring combination of colors. I'm actually
Uh-huh.
starting a lot more Polaroids,
Okay.
and I'm exploring different type of backgrounds. I just order uh, thermical sheets or thermal sheets. I don't know, the ones that you cover when you're cold. And I'm gonna start using them as backdrops, shooting color, and like for example, I want to do
Okay.
like gradients of, but I don't want to do the same like blue to yellow. I want to go like probably like blue to green and a hot spot of red. I want to start playing with colors, old school
Okay.
colors.
That's
And I
interesting
want
because
to,
you can get that mylar foil comes on a roll and you can crinkle it up and like will bounce color and light that way. But I hadn't
yeah,
even thought about thermal
yeah.
blankets.
I got the
Cool.
mylar and I got the plastic mirrors. So the mylar,
Uh-huh.
it looks like water mostly. The mirrors, they're more wavy, like shape waves. But these ones, um, it looks different. It's a thicker texture for saying, and you can it already come wrinkled. So when you shoot, you got a lot of shadows and highlights, and it's not like a blank with reflection. This one actually has texture, and that's what I'm trying to explore.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Now, tell people where they can find you online.
Well, they can go to my website, simondiaz.com. I'm updating my website. They can go on Instagram, simon_diaz.com, and all my links are gonna be there. And I'm really bad at social media. I suck at social media. I, to be honest, I don't see the point of social media. I mean, people need to see your work, yes, but I don't like social media. So it's something that I need to improve this year too, to be like more, hey, look at my work. I'm Simon. Yay.
A lot of that can be automated too. So thank you so much for being here with me. I always love our chats and I love seeing that like your revenue is already growing bit by bit and Like, let's connect. Let's get you to some 5-figure months on a regular basis.
And thank you for everything you do for us.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that we could make it work for you to be here. I think you're just a wonderful human being. And of course I love your work, and I'm ready to see you fly in success. And then we can look back and be like, he was on the podcast. And if you have any questions whatsoever, you're welcome to reach out on the studio takeover or apply to be here on the podcast as well. And you can find Simone on the Instagram at Simone_Diez. And we'll see you next week.